Yo, what's up internet? My name is Anthony. I want to do a quick life update with you guys. So I got a new job with a lot longer commute, which means I don't have as much time for YouTube as I used to. Therefore, this means I can really only make videos during the weekends. This also means that I don't get to comment and respond to you guys as much as I would like. Anyway, let's get to the video. Despite all the draft and free agent signing news, the biggest news has to be Khalil Mack not showing up to off-season activities. Technically, it's not holding out since these are voluntary. Still, Mack has always shown up, and it's clear he's doing what he can to leverage a new contract. It would definitely be preferred that he was there learning the new system, but I don't think it's a big deal in the long term. He works hard, and you know he'll be prepared once the season starts. As for his new deal, I'm sure it'll be similar to Derek Carr last year. After OTAs are over and before training camp, Reggie McKenzie will get the big extensions out of the way per usual. No, the Raiders didn't address the linebacker position in the draft as I had expected, but they did sign a linebacker. Former Chief Derek Johnson was signed. He's 35 and clearly didn't play as well as we're used to seeing last year. Then again, this is still considered an upgrade over what the Raiders currently had. I'm guessing this is the end of Navarro Bowman re-signing with the Raiders. It seemed like they tried to get a deal done, but Bowman wants a certain amount of money that Reggie McKenzie wasn't willing to pay. Anyway, let's hope Johnson shows some semblance of the player he once was. In a corresponding move, the Raiders waived linebacker Corey James. It's somewhat surprising since I thought he played the best out of the young linebackers. Then again, that's not saying much considering the linebacker group as a whole wasn't very good with not a whole lot of talent. The designation was a failed physical, so I'm guessing he didn't show up in good enough shape. Not a big loss, but I expected him to stay on the team for a while given his performance. The other big Raiders news belongs to Donald Penn. He was alleged to have assaulted his wife. He was supposedly getting too handsy with his wife, but the couple is in the midst of a divorce. Penn's statement says there was no physical altercation. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. On the field though, Penn needs to recover and is scheduled to miss a lot of offseason time. As if one tackle problem isn't enough, Vadal Alexander has been suspended for 4 games with a PED violation. He's still eligible to participate in offseason activities and the preseason. I don't think he was expected to contribute much besides being a nice depth piece. Alexander is a good backup tackle, but certainly not the tackle you want to start the season with. Luckily, the Raiders were a step ahead and got lots of depth and talent at tackle. If Penn's problem is true, the selection of Kolton Miller seems better. There were just 2 tackles in this draft that were worthy of a first round selection, Mike McGlinchey and Kolton Miller. There's no question about Miller's talent and potential, but he's very raw and still needs a lot of technique work. If you go by the idea of best player available, Kolton Miller likely wasn't the best player. That being said, I understand the pick. Keeping Derek Carr upright is the most important part of the team. It doesn't matter how many picks Derwin James gets, or how many sacks Harold Landry gets, or tackles Tremaine Edmunds makes if Derek Carr is on the ground. As we saw the last few years, once Derek Carr is out or not himself, the whole team tumbles. With pass rushers like Joey Bosa, Von Miller, and Justin Houston in the division, making sure the tackles are set is a priority. There really wasn't much upside to the tackles currently on the roster, and it's obvious that John Gruden made it a top priority. Lastly, the draft as a whole had an Al Davis feel to it. They drafted a lot of high ceiling players that many executives or draft analysts described as reaches or risky players. For example, many felt tackle Brandon Parker was a reach. The talent and ceiling are certainly there, but not enough for a 3rd round pick according to some. Another example are players like Arden Key. Talent isn't the problem, but his character concerns took him off many teams' draft boards. We won't know how this draft class truly does until 3 years from now, but this draft as a whole feels a lot like Al Davis, with a lot of high ceiling players, including some with off the field concerns. I personally like the draft more than most analysts did, but the feeling in general is that this was not a good draft. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Like the video if you enjoyed, thumbs down if you didn't, and have a good day.